For generations, American quilts have been more than just bed coverings. They're stories stitched into fabric, a testament to art, culture, and resilience that has shaped the nation's heritage. Quilt making dates back to medieval Europe and Asia, long before English and Dutch settlers brought the tradition to America. But it wasn't just art, it was a necessity. As settlers arrived in the New World, quilts found a new home, flourishing with each patch, stitch, and piece of fabric. The word quilt first appeared in the 13th century, derived from the Latin culcita, meaning cushion. In colonial America, these quilts were practical items, meant to keep families warm through cold winters and to cover drafty doorways. Most colonial women were busy with spinning, weaving, and sewing clothes, with little time left for artistic pursuits. Commercial blankets were more common, but when times were tough, resourcefulness prevailed. Quilt making became a way to stretch limited resources, piecing together scraps to create warmth. Nothing went to waste. Old quilts were patched or used as batting for new ones, built for utility, not beauty. But as fabric became more affordable, quilting grew into a celebrated art form, with intricate designs and masterful stitching. Between 1750 and 1850, thousands of quilts were made, some so intricate they took years to complete. These heirlooms were cherished as treasures, passed down through generations, pieces of history stitched with love. In the early 1700s, Amish and Dutch settlers brought their traditions to America. Over time, Amish quilts, known for their distinctive craftsmanship, became iconic symbols of their culture, simple yet striking, each one a work of art. Early quilters didn't shy away from creativity. Patchwork, applique, and embroidery were all combined to create visual masterpieces. One popular design was the medallion quilt, which featured a strong central motif surrounded by borders, offering endless possibilities for creative expression. In the 1800s, quilting became a rite of passage. Young girls often made a dozen utility quilts before they could get engaged, crafting a masterpiece quilt for their marriage bed. These traditions held strong, stitching love and memories into every thread. Quilting wasn't just about fabric, it was about community. Quilting bees brought neighbors together, transforming the solitary act of sewing into a social event, where many hands turned fabric scraps into cherished quilts in just a day. In the small community of Gee's Bend, Alabama, quilting became an art of necessity and survival. Descendants of enslaved people stitched together salvaged materials, creating bold, abstract designs, quilts that are now celebrated for their modern sensibilities and vibrant storytelling. Quilts also played a role in times of conflict. During World War I and II, Americans made quilts to save blankets for soldiers, to raise funds, and to provide warmth. These quilts became symbols of unity, community, and sacrifice. In the 1950s and 60s, quilting almost faded into obscurity, seen as outdated and old-fashioned. But in the 1970s, a new generation found value in handcrafting, sparking a revival. The bicentennial celebration in 1976 became a turning point, as Americans embraced quilts as symbols of pride and heritage. Today, quilting is no longer just a necessity, it's an art form. Whether crafted for relaxation, tradition, or creative expression, quilts continue to tell stories, binding the past to the present in every stitch. The history of the United States can be seen through the history of quilts, through the resilience of women who stitched warmth and love into their families' lives, and through the heritage passed on to future generations. Quilts are more than fabric. They are pieces of history, sewn together with care,